Tell me something, warrior. Have you ever stood in a room and watched some other guy? Maybe he's not even better looking. Maybe he's not richer, not funnier, not smarter. Yet somehow, women gravitate toward him like gravity is his personal assistant. Meanwhile, you're standing there thinking, what does he have that I don't? What am I missing? Why does it look so effortless for him and so confusing for me? And the worst part, you start believing something must be wrong with you, that maybe you weren't born with whatever it is. But let me tell you a truth most men never hear. There is nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're not doomed. You're not invisible. You're simply uninformed. Because attraction, real, deep, lasting attraction, is not a mystery. It's not fate. It's not some magical gift only certain men get blessed with at birth. It's a science, a system, a formula that has been studied, tested, proven, and replicated across years of psychological research. And today, I'm putting that formula in your hands. No manipulative tricks, no weird alpha male fantasies, no pickup artist clown behavior, no delusional advice from dudes who have never touched grass. Instead, we go straight into the truth. Psychology that shapes her attention, biology that triggers her instincts, human behavior that influences her choices, all of it weaponized, so you can stop feeling like background noise and start becoming the man a woman notices, remembers, and chooses, not because you pretend to be someone else, but because you understand what actually creates magnetism between a man and a woman. So if you're ready to stop overthinking, stop doubting yourself, and stop watching other men win while you sit on the sidelines, warrior, let's begin. Lesson 1, the rare commodity effect. Scientists who study human behavior agree on one core truth. Humans don't chase abundance, they chase rarity. Every luxury brand in the world knows this. Every salesperson knows this. Every successful man, consciously or unconsciously, knows this. But sadly, most guys destroy their attractiveness before it even starts. How? By acting like the girl they like is the only source of oxygen in a collapsing spaceship. They center their entire emotional world around her. They stare too long. They linger too much. They respond instantly. They rearrange their schedule. They stop living their own life just to orbit hers. And you know what that communicates? You are the prize. I am the applicant. But the men women notice are not the ones kneeling at their emotional altar. The men women notice are the ones who walk by with purpose, the ones who seem focused on their mission, the ones who offer warmth without worship, the ones who have access to their time, not entitlement to it. These men aren't rude, they aren't arrogant, they simply aren't starving for attention, and that is magnetic. Your attention is not free. It is a currency, and when you hand it out like it's buy one, get one free at a supermarket, it instantly loses value. So here's what you do when you see a girl you like in a room full of guys trying to impress her. Do not join their circus. Do not hover like a malfunctioning drone with no landing gear. Do not stand there waiting for crumbs of validation. Instead, walk past. Give a simple, hey, warm but brief. Maintain genuine calmness and keep moving. You're not dismissing her. You're not ignoring her. You're showing that you are available but not accessible to everyone. That tiny action creates a massive psychological signal. I'm not here to chase. I'm here to live. If you notice me, good. But if you don't, my life keeps moving. This is the foundation of true masculine attractiveness. Scarcity isn't about pretending to be busy or acting uninterested. It's not about games. It's not about emotional manipulation. Scarcity is this: a man whose life is already full. A man who values his time. A man who doesn't make any woman his emotional oxygen tank. Women don't want a man who makes them his world. Women want a man who has a world and invites them inside it. Lesson 2, the reversal effect. There's a psychological phenomenon deeply wired into human cognition. It's been studied, measured, and proven across decades. A gain feels more powerful when it follows a loss or a challenge. But let's put that into real-life terms. If someone likes you from the start, it feels nice. But if someone starts neutral or even slightly distant and then warms up to you, that feels meaningful. That feels earned. That feels like a reward. This is why the nice guy who's friendly from the start gets overlooked. And why the mysterious guy who becomes warmer over time suddenly becomes irresistible. But here's where men sabotage everything. They jump to extremes. They're either too cold, so she assumes he doesn't like her, or too eager, so she assumes he's desperate. Both send her running. What you need is something different. A slow, controlled emotional gradient. A believable shift. A transition that feels authentic, not strategic. Here's how to create that. 1. Start slightly neutral. Not cold, not rude. Just reserved enough that she isn't sure what you think. Your tone is calm, polite, centered. Your energy is grounded. You're present, but not invested. This creates curiosity, not confusion. So next interaction, add warmth. Not flirtation. Not compliments. Just slightly softer tone, more comfortable eye contact. A tiny bit more engagement. This contrast is powerful because it signals, he didn't open up to everyone. He opened up to me. 3. Then give a meaningful compliment. Not the predictable garbage. Your eyes are pretty. You look good today. Nice outfit. No. Instead, compliment something she earned, not something she was born with. Her charisma, her work ethic, her humor, her self-awareness, her confidence, her perspective. Women remember compliments that hit the soul, not the skin. 4. Let your body language shift too. Relax more around her. Angle your torso slightly. Hold eye contact a little longer. Listen more deeply. These small signals create a story in her head. Wait, he didn't seem very interested before, but now he is. Why? What changed? Did I do something right? That internal question is the ignition of attraction. But here's the warning that most men ignore. If you stay distant forever, she concludes you have zero interest. If you become affectionate instantly, she concludes you're performing. The art is in the progression, not the performance. Move like the sunrise. Gradual, gentle, intentional, consistent. Not too cold, not too hot. Just warm enough that she feels chosen, not chased. Lesson 3. The proximity principle. Upgraded, expanded, weaponized. Science is brutally clear on this. The more someone sees you, the more familiar you become. And familiarity, when paired with positive cues, creates comfort, trust, and attraction. But here's the part most men misunderstand. It's not about being physically close. It's about being consistently present. A single long interaction means nothing compared to a series of small repeated exposures. Psychologists call this the mere exposure effect. The idea that people prefer things they've seen often, even unconsciously. But here's the twist most guys never learn. Proximity without intention makes you invisible. Proximity with desperation makes you creepy. Proximity with stability makes you magnetic. What does that mean? It means a woman doesn't bond with the guy who appears once every 2 weeks and forces a conversation. She bonds with the guy she sees walking into class, the guy who shows up at the gym at the same hour, the guy who sits near the same group of mutual friends, the guy who is consistently in her peripheral reality, not aggressively in her face. That type of presence creates a psychological shift. Wait, I keep seeing him everywhere. He must be part of my world. That's how familiarity forms. That's how attraction starts. But here's the rule you must follow. Consistency, duration. 5 calm minutes daily, beats 1 dramatic hour weekly. Now, what if you don't naturally cross paths with her? Then you create strategic overlap, not suspicious coincidences. You don't suddenly appear everywhere she goes. You don't follow her around. You don't stalk. You don't hover. You simply adjust your routine like a man upgrading his life, not like a man chasing a crush. Examples of intentional, normal, non-creepy proximity. Shift your lunch break by 10-15 minutes. Choose a gym slot before or after hers, never right next to her treadmill like a weirdo. Join a club, team, or study group she's already part of. Spend more time around mutual friends. Choose the library area or campus space where many people, including her, go. Notice something important? None of these involve chasing her. They involve placing yourself in environments where she already is. Naturally, socially, logically. Your mission is simple. Become a familiar presence, not a shadow. A man who shows up in her world, not a man who rearranges his existence to orbit hers. When she sees you often, even without talking, her mind begins to subconsciously categorize you. Part of my environment, part of my rhythm, part of my life. This is how attraction begins quietly, before a single word is spoken. Let the universe do the heavy lifting, not your desperation, not your overthinking, just your consistent, stable presence. Lesson 4, the favor mirror effect. Psychologists have discovered one of the strangest truths in human behavior. We grow more attached to people we help, not the people who help us. This is called the Ben Franklin effect, and it works because of one simple psychological glitch. When we do something for someone, our brain tries to make sense of the action, and the brain concludes, if I did them a favor, it must be because I like them. In other words, investment creates attachment, not the giant romantic gestures guys use to impress women, not overblown compliments, not trying to be her hero. What creates connection is the tiny things, the smallest favors, the little moments where she invests, even slightly, in you. This is how you activate it naturally. Ask small, non-invasive, simple favors. Hey, could you hold this for a sec? Is this the right section? I'm not sure. Do you remember the name of that app? I forgot. Mind passing me that? Quick question. How do you pronounce this? Nothing dramatic. Nothing emotional. Nothing burdensome. Why does this work? Because every small favor creates a micro-connection in her brain. This person is safe. This person is familiar. This person is part of my environment. This person matters. But here's the key. You do not turn her into your therapist, secretary, or babysitter. No emotional dumping. No life problems. No help me fix myself. No guilt trips. No dependency. You're not asking for support. You're asking for participation. Big difference. Tiny favors lead to tiny investments. Tiny investments lead to emotional continuity, and emotional continuity leads to attraction, because attraction is not built through huge actions. Attraction is built through tiny moments, tiny interactions, tiny bonds, repeated over time. Here's the final truth of this principle. You're not trying to impress her. You're letting her invest in you. You're not broadcasting your value. You're letting her brain convince itself you have value. You're not forcing connection. You're allowing it to form naturally. That is psychological mastery. That is masculine subtlety. That is how attraction grows beneath the surface before she even realizes it. Lesson 5. The presentation paradox. Most men think attraction begins with the moment they open their mouth. Wrong. Attraction begins before you speak, before you move, before you even get close enough for her to hear you breathe. Women scan instantly. It's unconscious, evolutionary, automatic. In less than 1 second, her brain judges. Are you healthy? Are you stable? Are you put together? Do you present yourself like a man? Or like someone waiting for life to start? And here's the part that stings. You can be smart, funny, emotionally intelligent, charismatic. But if you look like you've given up on yourself, she'll never get close enough to find out. Researchers call this the signal clarity principle. Women aren't looking for perfection. They're looking for signals that you take yourself seriously. Because if a man can't take care of himself, how will he protect, guide, support, or lead anyone else? Now, what actually matters? Not a superhero body, not celebrity good looks, not Instagram-level grooming, but the basics, the 1% improvements that 90% of men ignore. 1. Upright posture. Stand like someone who trusts himself. Your posture tells her more about your life than your face does. 2. Clean, simple wardrobe. Not expensive, not flashy, just well-fitted, clean, intentional. A man wearing a $20 t-shirt that fits will look better than a guy wearing a $200 hoodie that doesn't. 3. Grooming. Trim. Not shaved bald. Not lumberjack mess. Just clean, intentional grooming that shows you care. 4. Scent. A subtle, clean scent signals hygiene, testosterone, and vitality. Not Axe body spray. A light, mature fragrance. 5. Emotional baseline. A calm, grounded, peaceful demeanor is more attractive than anxiety disguised as humor. Remember, your presentation is not decoration, it is communication. It tells the world, and her, who you are before you speak a single word. Lesson 6. The biology of compatibility, aka what you cannot control. Listen carefully, warrior, because this is where men get confused. You can master every psychological trick. You can walk with confidence. You can flirt with skill, and still, there will be women who feel absolutely nothing for you. Why? Because biology is the ultimate gatekeeper. There are forces older than language, older than civilization, older than your fears and desires. 2 of them matter most. 1. Her subconscious scent evaluation. This one is brutal because you can't hack it. Women's noses are wired to pick up MHC markers, immune system genes that determine how genetically compatible you are. If your genetic code complements hers, she'll feel drawn to you in a way she can't explain. A pull, a curiosity, a warm animal-level attraction. But if your genes are too similar, her brain labels you family, it's not lover. Instant attraction dead. Here's what's crazy. She doesn't know this consciously. She isn't thinking about DNA. She just feels yes or no. No amount of confidence can override this chemistry. 2. The first kiss verdict. A first kiss is not romantic. It's biological warfare. It's data exchange. It's compatibility testing. Her brain is analyzing your breath chemistry, your saliva pH, your pheromone profile, the rhythm of your nervous system, the way your touch feels, the micro-tension between your bodies. If the chemistry aligns, she feels warmth, desire, safety, excitement, this electric, unmistakable pull. If it fails, her brain shuts the attraction system down instantly. A kiss is not just a kiss. It is a biological verdict. Final lesson, the truth most men can't accept. You can optimize your energy. You can elevate your appearance. You can sharpen your social awareness. You can build a life that radiates masculine gravity. And you should. You absolutely should. Because a man who works on himself becomes a lighthouse. Steady, bright, unshakable. But even then, some women will feel nothing for you. Others will adore you instantly. Some will feel conflicted. Some will be drawn and scared at the same time. Some will only recognize your value years later. Attraction is not a formula. It is a resonance. You're not here to impress everyone. You're here to find the ones who feel your energy, not the ones you need to chase, convince, or perform for. In a world full of noise, distraction, and fake confidence, a man who understands both the science and the soul of attraction becomes unstoppable. Because he knows the truth. You cannot force attraction, but you can become the kind of man who naturally inspires it. And that is the real power.